This is called ropa vieja. It's a Cuban dish. You can use like skirt steak, which is one of the classic things to do, but I actually like something a little bit fattier, maybe like a bottom round or a top round.
I was gonna say, is that a round? Yeah.
In big pieces. And so I use some coriander, some cumin, some salt and pepper, and I crust it in a cast iron pan first.
Yep.
Okay, and then what I do is I take it, and then if any kind of Latin cuisine, there's something called sofrito, which is like the basis and the foundation of like everything that tastes good, right? So peppers, onions, garlic, and things like that. And I'm gonna put this in a pressure cooker. Now, I have to admit...
I love that pressure cookers came back.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Honestly, Rachel, like, I never used a
Me either, but I'm psyched about it now.
You know when I started using it?
When?
Iron Chef.
Of course.
No, because
you have to make it
because a dish like
faster.
this,
right.
you could never make it in an hour, which was
Right.
our time limit. So I had to learn how to use a pressure cooker, and frankly, I wasn't very good at it at first. But now that I use them, I love them. We're gonna take a little bit of sherry wine, okay, keep that sort of Cuban flavor going, and then some of your amazing Rachael Ray chicken stock.
And I love having golden raisin in there too.
Well, there's something called picadillo, which is like
Yeah.
basically sweet and sour, you know, in Cuban cuisine.
Like agua dulce in Italian. Right.
Agua dulce, exactly. So, you know, the sour might be the sherry and some vinegar, and then of course the raisins give it that sweetness to it. So we cover up our pressure cooker and we let that go for about 45 minutes.
It's incredible because you would let this cook like low and slow all day.
All day long.
Yeah.
And I have to say, there's nothing like the texture, to me at least, of things like the ropa vieja or like pulled pork, because you get like, it's, you know, you just get that like, that sort of stringy
beautiful
but
braised,
delicious and
falling
juicy
apart. Oh.
and tender. Oh.
Now we're both eating and nobody can be
It's so
talking.
good.
Really. Talk amongst yourselves.
Anyway, so what we're gonna do is, so you would take 2 forks like this. You don't chop this up.
No, you shred it.
You shred it with a fork. And because it's so
just
tender,
falls apart.
it just falls right
Gorgeous.
off the bone. And I just love this. Then we're gonna add some olives. This is where that sort of sweet and sour comes in. Some olives and some capers, nice salty flavors, a little bit of lemon juice, and then some cilantro, and then we're gonna put the meat right back into the...
so it's all saucy.
Yes, exactly. We're gonna put the meat back into the sauce that you cooked and braised the meat in. And basically, you can
And this
just
is a great way to feed a crowd, too,
It's
right?
a great Sunday dinner. You know, it's a fantastic Sunday dinner. You just basically put this in the middle of the table and just let people go nuts. Now, I have to tell you, Rachel, this, on Beat Bobby Flay, I make a lot of crusty rice to go for the win. It's one of my secrets.
It's one of your tricks.
You know? And so, anyway, this is coconut and green onion rice.
Yum!
And then
Ridiculous.
So, and you make the rice. So you make the coconut rice with the green onions, and then you get a pan and you just put the cooked rice in the pan, and it gets nice and crusty. So you have that great contrast of texture. There's nothing like it. You'll never eat rice any other way again, no matter what it is.
Crispy rice. It's like the top of a lasagna, the little crispy corners.
Yes.
It's that kind of a vibe.
It's the texture that you always want to be eating. This could be like a Sunday dinner. It's obviously very casual. But then what I like to do is I take a little bit of the broth from the beef, and I mix it with a little bit of the mayonnaise and mustard.
Nice.
And this becomes sort of like the
special sauce,
like the condiment, you know, the condiment. And so we're gonna just take a little bit of that mixture and just spread it on some bread here, and make sure that you put enough so there's enough sort of moisture to it, right? And then you take some of the beef that's left over from the day before.
It just gets better. The longer it sets, the better it gets.
This is great leftovers, exactly.
Yeah.
Some manchego cheese.
Oh my God.
Some pickled
onions. Yes.
And then some cilantro. So we're gonna brush with a little bit of butter on the outside, and then you put them in there, and you get them nice and crusty, and then it heats up on the inside.
Look how gorgeous.
And there you go.
It's like a Cuban
exactly.
sandwich. Beautiful. My mouth is watering.